Hey everyone, I'm Brando, and he's Ryan, and together we are Commander Cookout Podcast, and we are coming at you today with a very special announcement. We have got something very cool for you to get on board with.
That is right. We are finally here, and we're finally ready to show you guys all of the merch that we've been working on for the better part of a dang old year. Show them what we got.
I got a playmat. I got another playmat. This one with stitched edges. I got stickers up the wazoo. I've got dice that you're never going to see ever again because they're super cool and all unique, just like us and you.
This is so exciting, if you can't tell, for us to finally bring to you. We are asked every day, every week, emails and Twitters and everywhere that you can interact with us. When are we getting CCO
shirts?
When are we getting new stickers? When are we getting a CCO playmat? The time is now. Head on over to our Kickstarter campaign. You can find it anywhere you find CCO. That is commandercookout.com, the podcast on any platform, or of course on YouTube. Head over, find what tickles your fancy. Playmats can be signed or unsigned, stitched or unstitched, whatever you want.
Or you can do all four. But Ryan, what if they're out there thinking, yeah, I'd like to support them, but maybe later?
Well, here's the thing. The Kickstarter campaign runs for 30 days only. So if you want to jump on and show your certificate of citizenship for CCO Nation, try saying that 5 times fast.
I will not.
Now is your opportunity because the mat is never going to be reproduced ever again. We swindled Magic community member Andre Garcia into doing the playmat for us, and it's fantastic. We'll talk about that in a second. We also swindled him to do a bunch of tokens for us that art match with these mugs on them. So if you like goblins, zombies, angels, treasures, monarchs, or an elf that doesn't even look like us because he's actually handsome, now's your opportunity to get the whole CCO package. But we want to spend a little bit of time on the playmat to tell you a little bit about not only the details and what's featured in it, but also kind of about the color scheme and how it relates to the podcast. So give us the inception for the playmat as a whole and what you see as you walk into CCO Nation.
We have the most intense podcast intro in Magic the Gathering podcasting history. The first thing you hear is my voice, blah, 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 blah. You hear some rockin' ass music, and then it's time for our whirlwind adventure. And that is the first thing you see when you enter the gates of the nation is the Whirlwind Adventure theme park ride. And this theme park has it all. It's got bright colors, it's got mascots, it's got people, it's got prizes, it's got dragons, it's got cactuses, it's got ghosts.
Squirrels, lotuses.
Anything that's magic related that you think that we've ever even sort of alluded to is hidden in here somewhere. Garcia did a great job for us and we want to share it with you, so do not miss out on this one.
That's right. This is the stuff that you guys have been asking us for the better part of a year. We've been hinting at it on the podcast a whole ton, and we're super happy that it turned out as good as it is, and we're so excited to share it with everybody out in the nation.
And not only is this mat, these shirts, the stickers, the dice, an homage to the CCO podcast, it's also an homage and a big thank you to everybody that supported us over the last few years as we have gone on this whirlwind adventure, and this is our way of giving a little bit back of ourselves to you to really show that you're part of a community that you yourselves have helped us build. And we're really, really proud to be able to offer this to you guys on this Kickstarter, only for a limited time. So remember, don't sleep on this. Now's the time.
Yeah, the best dang old community in all of Magic, hands down. I will fight somebody about that.
It's scientifically proven. It's just science. Hit our theme song!
Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 278. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to kick off a new arc by asking the question, what the frog? Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
We are back. What the frog?
What the frog?
We're back.
We're back.
This is it.
We're frogging. We're frogging hard. We're going to do frog stuff. We got stories, people to thank. We're totally 100% actually in the future after being in Vegas a couple of days ago. But before we get to any of that stuff, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com, your source for all your gaming needs.
Very much so. Very much so. And we've got a special episode today. We've got a we're kicking off a new arc.
We are kicking off a new arc.
We've got some special stuff to talk about. We've got some awesome stuff, if you will. All right? And we're going to be featuring a little community build.
Yeah.
Grolnok the Omnivore. Give that mother ass a read.
Grolnok the Omnivore is a 3/3 for blue, green, 2. He's a frog. That's what's important.
Yep.
He's a frog. Whenever a frog, you control attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, you exile it with a croak counter on it.
Yeah.
I could just stop there. Honestly, I could stop there and I'd be happy with this card. But there's more. There's more. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards you own in exile with croak counters on them.
Okay. So, if you wanted to pick up a Grolnok, you could go Business Daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com, use CCO Fusion 5 promo code, get yourself 5% off. You could probably go there and find all the frogs there. How many are there? We just looked it up. Frogs that could go in this deck.
23.
23, and that doesn't include the changelings or any creature type cards or like Maskwood Nexus and stuff that we talked about yesterday on our Toxrill brain ass snail episode.
Yeah, because you want to make slugs, but in this one you want to make frogs. Do frogs eat slugs? I think they do.
I think that frog versus slug versus crab versus
shit. Eyeballs.
And there's one more.
Let's just go with those 4. You don't want to do a 5-man pod with those jank tribes, man. Like, that game's going to go a long time. All right?
That's great. That's good stuff. So here's the thing. We got some podcast business. We got some business. Okay. We're kicking off a new arc, and this one's a special one. I keep saying that because this is going to be the arc of awesome.
Yeah.
We've had some awesome things about us recently.
Not about us, but like about us as in around us.
Yes, about is the right way to say around because around it isn't grammatically correct.
I guess.
But everybody says around us. So we've had some awesome stuff around us. First and foremost, community support for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Second of all the people that we met in Vegas.
Yeah.
It was definitely a good time.
Yes.
This was filmed definitely not before that.
Correct.
And we're definitely happy that we went and met so many wonderful people.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really enjoyed my airplane rides. Ryan did not.
Also, yes, I enjoyed beer at the airport because it calms down my stomach.
I also did that.
Very good. Okay. We've got a new giveaway because it's a new arc.
Which is awesome.
That's awesome. Now, how do you want to do it? What do you want to do?
What are we giving away?
Okay, we got 2 giveaways actually because we got to give away a booster pack. Let's start with that.
Okay, let's do it.
We got a booster pack from somebody guessing or commenting on the pre-show.
Yeah.
This is the second booster pack of the week because last week we weren't able to do 2.
Right.
Now we are. And I shit you not, we're talking frogs today after we get through some biznatch.
Oh, yeah.
The winner of this week's booster pack from commenting on a pre-show video, Doomfrog19.
Oh,
not even kidding.
Shit.
That's how awesome this arc is going to be.
See, that's the world telling us that we're making the right decision.
Yes, so Doomfrog, you get at us at CCO Podcast, at CCO Brando on Twitter, or commandercookout@gmail.com. Claim your stinky, froggy, croaky pack.
Doomfrog.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sure it's somebody that we know because I'm sure I've said Doomfrog before.
Yeah, I feel like I've said those words before as well.
Maybe in Discord or something. And I don't know. We've talked to Doomfrog before for sure. Now, the Arc of Awesome is all about awesome stuff.
Right.
We mentioned the Kickstarter. It's ongoing still. You can get stuff, and we've collectively decided, Brando and I, and we've talked a little bit with the business daddies about it. And the Kickstarter, if it's as successful as we want it to be, we want to kind of turn around some of what we get and channel it right back into creating some better content.
Yeah, some cool new shit.
Yeah, and like better in terms of we want to take more time to make it and produce it to a much, much higher quality standard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to happen in 2022 when Magic Fest schedules come back out, and we want to
give people, what did we say?
The CCO experience, baby, because not everybody can be everywhere all the time. You can't afford it. You don't feel comfortable going. It's too far. You can't get the time off work. There's a myriad of legit reasons why you can't have the physical CCO experience. So we want to bring that to you through your eyeball holes instead of your skin hole. I shouldn't have said that, but I did. You know what? I should not have said that, but I did.
This is the world we're in.
Yeah, and this is the reality of all the infinite realities that we're living in. This is one of them.
Yeah, so it might mean a little bit of hardware, might mean a little bit of software, it might be a little bit of license sharing with a couple editors that we are currently working with, Joe and Tyler. So this will be a little bit of a surprise for them. And we want to do this extra thing to give people, like Brando says, the CCO experience, because not everybody can come to Magic Fests, and CCO Penthouse is fun, and playing Commander for 3 days is awesome, and we want people to know that it's fun and maybe encourage them to come, leave their comfort zone, plan, save, whatever it is. And if you can enjoy some CCO along the way of that process, that's what we want to provide.
It's even better.
Yeah. You'd have to be subscribed on YouTube, though, to watch any of it.
Yeah, and you fucking should be anyway. We work really hard on this shit, and we like when people watch it.
Yeah, so a huge part of how that's going to come to fruition is the Kickstarter. I want to go back to that real quick just because it's so fucking awesome.
It is pretty cool.
The playmat's awesome. I hope Joe has another picture of it. Yeah. The tokens are awesome. They look like me before I got my hair cut, but look at this little guy right here. I got to get this little guy cut. It just won't go away. The tokens are awesome. The dice are awesome. Everything it's cool. And I'm excited that it's finally happening.
Sometimes I look at the dice because I have the box of dice at my house. And just kind of weird. But like it's on top of my magic cabinet. I just take it down and I open it up. And I'm like, this is cool.
Because they're all turned the same way?
Yeah.
Cool.
I took the time to like stack them in stacks. And the top layer, it's all on the logo side of the dice.
Yes.
Oh, it took a long ass time, but it's fun to look at.
You know what? I hope that people...
I'm excited for that box to be empty because they're all at your guys' houses.
I hope that people are proud to be in CCO Nation because the pride that the merch and the Kickstarter has given me, not only that it's finally come to be after fucking all of what was last year and the logistical nightmare that it was, but that people like it and that people are willing to support it. It makes me happy and proud and gives me all the feelings. So I hope that other people kind of get that when they get some of the merch.
Having feelings is important.
Yeah. We've got a couple other things.
Tell me.
Secret Lair giveaway.
Secret Lair giveaway.
Yeah, I think this is the last one that we have. So we'll have to think of something new for giveaways after this.
We'll come up with something. We're smart guys.
Yeah, this is Secret Lair Fairy, Fairy, Fairy. It's the one that has like the really Lisa Frank looking fairies. They're all blue and yellow and pink and orange and highly brightly colored. They kind of look like the Zendikar Rising showcases.
Okay, I like that. That's something that I like. That's a thing that I like that you said.
But they're Miss Buy and Click and Glenelenda Archmage and Sower of Temptation.
Some of those are good.
Yeah, there's 4 of them in there. And Joe will have them on the screen if you're watching on YouTube.
It should be.
And you just have to go to social media, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you see any of the posts about the giveaway and help share the show. And bonus points if you ever share or retweet any of the Kickstarter stuff on any of the social platforms. We'll give you entries to the giveaway for that too.
Yeah. Is this one foil, non-foil?
This one is non-foil.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, what a piece of shit. Who would fucking want this? We should just burn it.
Yeah. We can do that too. If you win it and don't want it, we will cast it into the flames for you. Record that shit. Put it on YouTube if you want.
I don't know if anybody's going to want that because those cards are good. No, and they are nice.
Nobody's going to want to do that. But I mean, you never know. And I mean, this would be that cathartic moment where it's like, I hate fairies, but I won the fairy secret lair from those CCO guys.
Oh, yeah.
Burn it.
Gives me flashbacks to 2007 when Bitter Blossom was in Standard. Bitter Blossom's not even in the secret lair.
That's because it already was in a secret lair.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. We got one last piece of business.
One last piece of business.
We got to thank some patrons.
Do it.
Patreon.com/CCO Podcast. Get you the Discord benefits, get you the CCO nickname, get you finger blasted, and get you maybe a Brando token altar or a proxy.
Those are fun.
Or once the Kickstarter makes the stickers and gets all the things that we need, you can get yourself a new CCO sticker for becoming a patron if you want.
Yeah.
First thank you and FU. Timothy Pollard. TP.
Oh, yeah. TP. That's easy.
TP. Yeah, I talked to TP last night. We did a virtual hangout as I was testing my internet speed when I was doing an upload.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, brand new patron, came on. I said thanks.
TP.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love a good TP.
Yep.
Right in the morning.
One-ply TP.
Oh, no. Less good. Less
Like
good.
University/hospital
Oh,
style.
grievous hurt.
Yeah.
It's like sandpaper.
Yeah, and
or
it's like
screen.
thin sandpaper too.
Yes.
Because and then
It's
not,
like that
not only does
tissue
your
paper
butthole
that
hurt,
they
but it's on your head now.
Yes, it's like that tissue paper that they stuff into like the tops of presents, but it's like not as waxy, so it doesn't have a barrier.
It's gross.
I might as well just wipe my ass with air.
Or my hand. Or a pair of corduroy pants, which is the most luxurious thing you can use.
Oh man, CCO, what was that? Episode 5?
Yeah.
The time you shit somebody else's pants.
pants.
I tell that story to my son frequently, and he laughs hard every time. Dad, tell me the story when Uncle Brando crapped somebody else's pants. Not even kidding. That happens frequently.
Oh, wow.
Right before bed.
Nice. It's a bedtime. That's a bedtime story. That's
Well,
amazing.
And he's familiar with all of the things. Apartment buildings, driving to Prince Albert where the story happened.
Yeah.
Chucking pants out windows.
Yeah.
No toilet paper. Because he goes to the bathroom now, right?
Yeah.
By himself.
Yeah, he knows all about it.
We got one more. Speaking of crapping pants. and
Okay.
Throwing them out the window. We got one more patron to thank.
That's a segue, right? The king of the segue makes the return. I like that.
Big shout out to Timothy Pollard. Thanks for being here. And
One-ply TP.
Yeah. Second one.
Yeah.
Chris Von Doom
Von Doom.
increased his pledge.
We have to
He
talk
moved
about
from-
Von Doom again.
He moved from 7 out of 10 to like 7.1 out of 10.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd go much higher than 7
Well-
on Von Doom. I don't know if I would.
He must be sucking up to us because you know what else?
What
He
else?
volunteered to lead the charge on the community deck building deck for today. We've got the Grolnok deck that I went into Discord and said, we need this deck. And it needs to exist somewhere in between Frog Tribal and cEDH Death Killing Machine. And Chris Von Doom is like, what did he say? Like, cracks knuckles or something like cracks his knuckles. He's ready.
Ready to go.
So there was a few others that worked along with Chris. Let's see if I can bring them up as you've got the list. Tell us a little bit about, you reviewed all the frogs
I did.
on Scryfall prior to today's episode because I think we just want to have a conversation about like the range between what would be Frog Tribal, Grolnok, all the way to cEDH Death Killing Machine.
Yes, that would not include very many of the frogs that are in Frog Tribal Grolnok.
And how do we play a deck like what we have today, which would be somewhere between that on the this is a real deck side of the spectrum? What do we do? Tell us what your thoughts about the deck.
Okay, so thoughts on the deck. We all know what the Death Killing Machine would be. It is put your entire graveyard or your entire library into your graveyard somehow, probably through self-mill and all those other
Hermit
things.
Druid, let's say. No basics. Hermit Druid, mill your whole self. They all get exiled with croak counters. You cast
Thassa's Oracle and win the game.
mana rocks to remake your mana
Yeah.
into something like a High Tide
Yeah.
into Thassa's Oracle with an empty library.
Yeah. And then there you go. That's what the deck does if it's a cEDH thing.
And
With
you-
all of the cEDH stuff.
Free
that-
counter spells and draws and intuition, so you just tutor for 3 things.
Precisely.
Exile them all because they get put into your graveyard and you can cast all of them.
Yeah. So there we did it. There's the cEDH Grolnok deck. If you want to do something that's way on the other end, you pick Frog Tribal because I shouldn't say all of the frogs suck. Most of the frogs are terrible. Frog Tribal doesn't exist yet because most of the creatures are bad. There are some notable exceptions that we'll talk about later on in the show about just frogs that are good and cool that could go in here if we wanted them to. This deck falls somewhere in the middle. It does it for the memes. It does it for the fun. It does it for all kinds of things. It's playing 22 land and like 38 fucking pieces of ramp or something.
Yeah, because permanence, right? And
Yeah.
sure, mana, like land are permanents, but when you mill your whole library, you can only play 1 land after that, right? For
Yeah.
turn, unless you fuck the budget and just like exploration out your wazoo, like every other lands deck. And it looks like Chris and the gang,
Chris and the boys.
Chris and the boys didn't want to do that, so they wanted to do 19 pieces of mana ramp.
Yeah.
And they are what you think they are. The 1 and 2 and 0 drop.
It's all dorks.
Creatures and rocks.
Yeah. And you could play more 0 drop rocks again, fucking the budget. You could play your mana crypts and your mana vaults and your diamonds and all that shit.
Yeah.
And
you know what I really like is Expedition Map in that mana rock suite. You Grolnok or you Hermit Druid your entire library gone. You get a Chrome Mox and a fucking... You get all the Moxes.
yeah.
Then you cast and crack your Expo map. And... Oh no, but you can't. You can't get your Gaia's Cradle because it's already exiled. You just play it. You don't even need the Expo map.
That's right.
Oh, dang. Well, if before you do that, you can Expo map for your Gaia's Cradle.
You know what I like about this deck is I can traumatize myself to draw half my library.
That would be excellent.
Yeah.
That would be excellent. Hey, really quick. T. Coates was in there. Stalker, Texas Stranger. Micah Huge, Manatee. Mickey Don't Matter No More. Callum Sands, Sanity. All Filler, Miller, Genuine Draft. All of these people were in there. I'm just scrolling down the Discord after I scrolled up.
All the way to the top. They're giving us frog suggestions. They're giving us cEDH, not frog suggestions. I love it. You could also put in things to this deck, like what is it, the Nexi that will make all your dudes into frogs. You could play that thing that gives all your creatures flying and turns them all into frogs, so you can alpha strike your own library into the graveyard. Hell yeah.
Well, hey, let's talk about the frogs for a little bit. Go to the frog page. There's 23 frogs. You said there's at least one that you could put in Frog Tribal.
Oh yeah. Well,
which one is it?
Anurid Scavenger, I think, goes in this deck.
That frog has hair on it.
Yeah, it's got hair and it just looks like it's had a real... It looks like I feel
which is
now.
Which is a very, I think, get at me in the comments if I'm wrong, a very Southern saying, because I knew a guy from New Orleans that always said this.
Okay.
He said of how he felt when you ask him, hey, how you doing? How's your day or whatever? He goes, finer than frog hair.
I like that.
Finer than frog hair. This is a hairy frog. He must be a good card. He must be having a good day too.
Let's see if it's good.
Yeah.
It's a 3/3 for green 2 pro black.
Oh, that's already good.
At the beginning of your upkeep, you sacrifice it unless you put a card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library.
Hey, card from graveyard on bottom of library. So this would be a card that is an instant or sorcery.
Yeah.
Because all of our other stuff gets exiled.
It gets croaked.
Permanents get croaked.
Yeah.
Non-permanents get milled.
Yeah. And maybe
this gets them back.
Maybe you wanted that traumatized. You can at least put it back into your library, use a shuffle effect to maybe get it.
Or you use it, you get it back with like your intuition, your mystical tutor. You get it back.
Take 2 turns and you can get the mystical tutor and the traumatized back into your library with Scavenger.
Man,
right? It's a cool ass card, man.
Could we put extra turn spells back with that guy?
Yeah.
And take extra turns?
Sure could.
We could make Grolnok turns.
We sure could. With an Anurid Scavenger.
You know what?
Shit, yeah.
You know what? When I say Grolnok turns with an Anurid Scavenger, that sounds like EDH. Like that sounds like a cEDH deck name. And that is, why is the foil of Anurid Scavenger $40? Well, because it's a cEDH combo, like Cephalid Illusionist.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a shitty-ass common set or uncommon Cephalid from probably the same set, too. Torment or Odyssey.
I think it is the same set.
Right? And it's
I think it is.
And it's like, why is that card so much? Well, because it's like, it's part of a combo where you just target it and mill yourself.
Yeah.
You could play it in this deck. Cephalid Illusionist right in this deck.
Yes.
You just need something that can target.
Yeah.
And you can mill your whole self that way instead of Hermie D.
That's right.
Let's move on to our next frog.
Chub Toad.
Chub Mother Ass Toad. This guy started the trend of arms hanging out of mouth.
Yep. And it's a 1/1 for 3 that gets bigger if it becomes blocked or blocks.
And this isn't a hairy frog. This is a
spiny frog.
A porcupine frog.
Yeah. And also it holds a special place in, I believe, our hearts, because when we were building hordes, we just throw a Chub Toad into the horde.
Yes.
Every horde had a random Chub Toad.
It was like a mini boss or something, right?
It's like, here's the Chub Toad.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Froghemoth is another good frog.
Yes.
It's your frog tribaling. It's a 4/4 Trample Haste for 5. When it hits people,
Yep.
you can remove the damage that it did worth of cards from the damaged opponent's library.
Oh.
And for every creature, it gets bigger, and for every not creature, you get a life.
Okay. That was on CCO's top 5 and 5 Adventures in the Forgotten Realms pickups, wasn't it?
It's a cool card.
Okay.
It's a very cool card.
Okay. You know what? I'm starting to see a picture of, okay, there's some fine cards, and there's some cards that we can build around, and then there's some fucking stinkers.
Oh, and there's some pieces of crap.
Like all bad tribes, but we are in blue, which gives us the kindred spells or things that allow us to change creature types.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 or 3 more cards right there. We got Maskwood Nexus, which would give us 2/2 changelings, which would be frogs.
Yep.
We get Chameleon Colossus, which is a frog.
Which is probably the best frog.
Maybe.
Yeah. We get is it Shapeshare?
Yeah, sure.
That's the one that turns
Sounds
all of
like
it turns all of your creatures into changelings? Or it turns target changeling into something else. That's what it does.
Something like that.
I'm thinking mirror entity.
Yeah,
but-
and then we get Polymorphous Jest, where it turns all creatures into frogs. Now, can we turn our own creatures into frogs?
They become 1/1 frogs with like no abilities though.
We're playing it in the deck. Just give it a read. I know that we played it yesterday, but we're playing it here too.
Until end of turn, each creature target player control loses all abilities and becomes a blue frog. So that wouldn't be the best to cast on ourselves. Because Grolnok would lose his skills.
Yes, but if we care about everything becoming a frog and we have maybe the chosen creature type gains Shroud, like with a Steely Resolve, or the chosen creature type gets +1/+1, or if we're playing frogs and non-frogs and Coat of Arms and Door of Destinies, all of a sudden, like I'm just saying all of the things that are like unsupported tribe.deck.
Yeah.
Right?
Play most of them in here.
And that's not really what we're doing today, but like we demonstrated with what the cEDH deck is, I think that we can also demonstrate what the frog deck is.
Yes.
And it is possible. It's just not very fucking good.
It's just not a very good deck, yeah. What else do we have for fucking good-ass frogs? There's Omnibian.
Omnibian?
It's a 3/3 for green, blue, 1. Tap it. Target creature becomes a 3/3 frog until end of turn.
It's good for all your 2/2 frogs.
Is that right? It makes your frog bigger. We got. This is a real card. This one is a real card.
This one is good.
Plaxcaster Frogling.
It's got graft. Read graft. It enters with 3 +1/+1 counters, right?
It's got graft number, and the creatures are always 0/0s.
Yes.
So the creature comes in with the number of +1/+1 counters, and then whenever another creature comes into play, you can move a +1/+1 counter from the graft creature to the creature that just entered the battlefield.
Yes.
That's what graft does. And it has 2 target creature with a +1/+1 counter on it gets Shroud until end of turn. So you can make your little dude bigger. You can protect your I forgot his damn name now. Your Grolnok.
Yep.
You can protect your Omnibian.
Yep.
You can protect your Froghemoth.
Yes.
You could protect your Spore Frog.
That's another frog. That's an actual frog that sees play.
And a Spore Frog is a real frog.
Not because it's a frog, because it sees playing Marin of Clan Neltoth, and that's a very popular deck, but it fogs. It's Fog Frog.
Fog Frog.
Yeah. I forgot that it was called that until I said it, and I thought I was clever. Then I was like,
No, that's what everybody calls it.
everybody on the planet calls it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's Frog Tribal. What are we doing today that's different? Let's look at the show notes here real quick. What do we got to talk about here? Let's see here.
We're removing. We're frogging.
Okay.
We're comboing. We're milling ourselves. That's what we're doing, Ryan.
I suppose. I guess I just really wanted to highlight and drive home that this is a group build that we asked for, and that's what the notes say, and then I go right to strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, that's fine. So let's look at some of the non-frog tribal things that
Flashers.
Yes.
They like to play things at flash speed. So we have Vernal Equinox, where
read that.
any player can play creatures or enchantments at flash speed.
Creatures and enchantments, but any player.
Yeah. This could be, what's that?
Whoa.
I can remember the name of it now.
Allurin. That also is, you can cast 3 drops or less for free during flash speed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If anybody has an English one of those, but they want a French one, I would like to trade you.
Oh, very good. Also, Dream Halls.
You can discard a
yeah,
card the
baby.
same color
Yeah.
to cast a card for free that matches the color.
Those are good. That's a
Dream
good-
Halls. It's not a flasher, but it's a free caster.
What's the fucking thing? It's an artifact. It costs 4, and it lets you cast all your shit at flash speed. What the
Videlkin Orrery.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That could also be in here. Thank you.
I think that one's not in here probably because it's like $45.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's
But Chris
sakes.
Von Doom is like, oh, fuck the budget. And he just puts like a whole bunch of other expensive stuff in here.
We also have a ley line of anticipation, which is the same thing as that card I just said, but it's an enchantment that you can begin with it in play.
Yeah. Leyline is good. I think I play it in my Averna Planeswalker Cascade deck. It's good in that one because you can cascade on other people's turns.
I don't play it in anything.
That's fucking good. Okay, what else we got? Then we got some flashers. Do we got any getter backers?
Oh,
We do.
girl.
I knew that we did, but he didn't call them getter backers.
Let me get that one back is what this we have Wildest Dreams. That's a cool
There's
card.
10 of them.
10.
10.
10.
Here's the reason. This is what you need in Grolnok because it only exiles and croaks away permanent cards. You got to get your non-permanents back somehow because you're going to mill yourself, right? So what do we got here?
We got Wildest Dreams.
Yep.
We got Timeless Witness, Tameo, Collector of Tales, Regrowth, Reap, Noxious Revival, Nostalgic Dreams, Huatoa, Honored Physician, Eternal Witness, and Balligate Recovery.
And a bunch of those get back more than one card at a time, right? Wildest Dreams, Timeless Witness, those both get back more than one. Tameo can get back more than one. Reap can get back more than one. Hautau can get back more than one over
Nostalgic Dreams
several
can get back
turns. Yeah.
a bunch, yeah, man.
So 10 plus the added benefit of getting extras back.
Yeah.
There's also Restock, which gets back 2 things. Then you exile it. It costs 5 mana.
Oh yeah, not in here,
We're not
but
playing that
also
one. You
good.
could get that one. And there's another one that gets back green things. 2 green things.
There is a Cephalillusionist in this deck.
Hey, there we go.
There he is.
There we go. I reviewed a different Grolnok cEDH deck that had a Cephalid Illusionist in here. So what do we target that with? Because it says whenever it becomes the target of a spell or an ability, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. So you mill yourself 3.
Yes. What
So-
do we target it with? That's a good
It would have
idea.
to be a permanent that we could get, and then we do it over and over. Generally, you do it with what? Children of Corliss? Is that the one?
No, that not Children of Corliss. You sack to
Gain all your life back.
Get your life back.
It's 0 and you Nomad's Encore. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you pay 0 to prevent damage to Nomad's Encore or something.
You move the damage from something to them or some stupid shit. It's some kind of stupid shitty ability, but it costs 0. That's the point.
Yes. Yeah. You move damage from Nomad's Encore onto a different creature. The next time it would be dealt damage.
Yeah.
Joe will have it on the screen and he'll tell us we're fucking wrong.
Yeah, tell us we're stupid. And then down in the corner of the screen will be that land that we can never remember because of course.
Oh, man.
Because of fucking course.
So good.
And
So
we're
good.
like, we draw cards, we mill ourselves, we've got the copy package with like Spark Double and Phantasmal Image and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff, so we can like do all of that shit. We got a Kinnan Bonder Prodigy to make
Double
all of our
mana.
mana dorks be doubled.
Yep.
That was the deck I played for that, the thing I talked about yesterday.
Oh, the dual
the
commander?
Dual Commander. Cool. He's a really cool deck.
Yeah.
Didn't work very good.
Double your mana for 2 mana. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Additional mana, basically double the mana.
Yeah, it's
but
fine.
it's
It's
as
fine.
close as you can get to playing a Sol Ring in Dual Commander.
Okay. Well, I think, you know what? We've got tons of ramp, tons of card draw, 22 land. We're going to self-mill. We've got some meme value in here, some tutor value. We could do cEDH. We could do Frog Tribal. We've demonstrated it all. So I kind of want to get into what I think would be some of the social challenges of playing Grolnok.
Yeah, we can get into that in a second. So it's been a minute. We had to do a little cut magic of editing. Joe's going to make us look real good.
I hope so. Did you see he color graded us last time? Made us blue?
No.
You didn't see the blue?
No.
Maybe I dreamt that.
Maybe you did. 'Cause I didn't think we looked very blue.
It was just for a minute.
Whatever.
I don't
Everybody
even
got-
remember when it was because this is recorded like 87 years in the future.
Yeah, that's right.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Strengths and
I
weaknesses.
covered it a little bit in that it scales well. It covers the range. Jank, Frog Tribal, Simic value, all the way to cEDH Killing Machine.
Yes.
right? And as such, unfortunately, unless you proxy fucking everything, it could be budget or it could be very expensive depending on how much you have. But somewhere in the middle, like Chris did and everybody on the CCO Discord did, this could be build what you have, Simic value.deck.
Because everybody has Simic value.deck because there's new Simic value cards printed in every single set.
And usually we knock on it, but today, because we kind of don't want to do either of the extreme ends of the range that Grolnok could be,
Those are the things.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. And the reason we're talking about this and the strengths and weaknesses, because I think that's sort of a weakness of building a deck like this. Like, I don't want to have it be a piece of crap Frog Tribal, because Frog Tribal isn't there yet. It's a bad tribe. So what you'd end up with is, hey guys, this is my insert jank tribe. It has all of the things that you have to play. That has the Maskwood Nexus, it has all the changelings, it has all that shit. And I picked Frog in this case because it just isn't. Frog Tribal just can't be done yet and have it be unique other than it just having a bunch of shitty frogs. That's a weakness of the deck, where your deck is kind of the same as everybody else's, even though it's not. Right? Yeah. In trying to be different, you are being just like everybody else that's trying to be different, and it adds homogeneity.
Every Frog Tribal deck would look the same because there's such a limited thing to do. It's like, that's the Zada effect.
Exactly.
That's the Zada effect. You have to play the certain cards that do what you need it to do, and for that reason, all the decks look the same.
Exactly. Or you're going to sit down with like this really tuned mill yourself kill engine, and it's like, well, why are you using Grolnok for that even? You could probably just use something else. Although Grolnok, I think, is really good at doing that because you can get your combo out of you can just play it.
Yeah, anything that allows you to en masse mill yourself, anything that's going to allow you to traumatize yourself, Hermit Druid yourself, right? So, I don't know. I think it's a strength because you can build it multiple ways. Multiple build paths is always a strength that we highlight.
You can go from dirty, rotten, like filthy, can't even win a game because the deck is so bad.
Can't even win a game against nobody.
Yeah. all the way to turn what? You could turn 2 with this deck, hey? How much does Grolnok cost?
Oh, no. Hermit Druid on 1, Grolnok on turn 2, Hermit Druid your whole deck and get your mana rocks back. You could win that early.
It's turn 2. That's how fast Grolnok can go.
Fucking cool.
And
that is cool.
Yeah, and that's not even like with that's with a hand that's full of ramp. Not even full of ramp. You need like one ramp piece. And
are we playing an Elvish Spirit Guide in here? Because that's one of the key ones I know my Animar plays in the ramp section. Elvish Spirit Guide, man. Telling you.
No, we're not playing that one.
Telling you, that's a gooder.
Or a Lotus Petal or something. Anything that just gets you an additional colored mana on your opening.
I'll give everybody another little piece of tech.
Hit them.
Okay, so Pact of the Summoner's Pact. There it is. Search your library for a green creature, put it into your hand for 0 mana, and next turn you lose the game if you can't pay green 2, right? You can use your Summoner's Pact to find your Elvish Spirit Guide and immediately exile it just to make a green mana. You don't need to search for a creature or a mana dork. You can just make a green mana, and that way it acts. You trade a card for a mana. It kind of acts like a ritual. If you need that 1 mana, so you could go like, whatever, mana dork. No, sorry, Mox, Summoner's Pact. Fucking get a mana next turn, Grolnok. Yeah, fuck it. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah, that's not what we're doing, but you can.
No, but here's the thing. You kick it over the weaknesses. Kick it over to the weaknesses. Dangerous that Grolnok can approach that territory, and I want to play Frog Tribal, or I just want to play Simic Value, mill myself, but I don't want to make it Sultai. I just want to play Simic.
Yeah. I want some frogs. It's gonna be fun.
Is it the death killing machine Hermit Druid Grolnok? And then you have to add that into your Rule 0 conversation. Yeah. Grolnok approaches Boogiemander status. If you want to know what Boogiemanders are, you check out CCO's top 5 and 5. Boogiemanders. And I really think that that's a weakness. That's why we rag on Zur all the time, and now we always say Sea Monster Zur.
Yeah.
This is Frog Tribal Grolnok.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you sit down with your Grolnok deck and you have to qualify. Oh yeah, I'm closer to Frog Tribal than I am to Hermit Druid. Right?
On a scale of Hermit Druid to Frog Tribal, how broken is your deck?
CCO's cEDH power scale.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how we should discuss it now. It's not 1 to 10, and it's not like quadrant theory. It's not this. It's not that. No, it's Frog Tribal, Hermit Druid. Where do you sit in that scale?
Yes. Well, what? And then you can just say anything in the middle, right? Oh, I play Gamble.
Oh, that's definitely a 7.
Yeah. My own. There's the Rule Zero conversation. We just had it.
Yeah.
Now we can all sit down and play a game of Magic.
That's it.
My only tutor is Gamble. That's a 7. Let's play.
Yeah, only Gamble. That's easy. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I was gonna say the only other weakness I was gonna say is could get relegated to the cEDH pod, and not mean to if you get too value-y.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about yesterday. It's like or whenever it was. Opened random mana crypt in booster pack. Found mana vault on floor of fucking closet.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then all of a sudden, I'm playing this mana rock, this mana rock, this mana rock. Turn 2 Grolnok. Fuck. Can't play this in jank pods no more.
Wait,
right?
You still kind of, just attacking with Grolnok and a couple of frogs, it's not going to...
I'm exaggerating a little bit
like,
to emphasize my point.
Hypothetically speaking, if you played this deck without Jace Wielder of Mysteries, Lab Maniac, and Thassa's Oracle, it's like, what are you even doing? Right? Like,
I wonder, how do I win without Thassa's Oracle and milling myself? What do I do?
That's the puzzle.
What do you do? Maybe that's how you have your Rule Zero conversation. I mill myself, but I don't Thassa's Oracle, and I'm not playing black to like mass reanimate.
Yeah, well, and you're milling your stuff out of the game also. You can't mass reanimate it because it's gone. It's all croaked.
What fucking croak my yoke. Man, croak myself.
It croaked so hard I shat my pants.
Trauma Croak. That sounds like a deck name.
Traumocrocus.
Traumocrocus. Maybe you play Grolnok Sea Monster Tribal, just like Zur. Sea Monster Zur.
Well, now we're on it. How do we win? This is live deck building.
This is it.
Simic colors.
Yeah.
Mill yourself. How do you win without Lab Man effect?
Exile mill.
Exiling. How do we do it?
Do we mill ourselves and then we only have instants and sorceries in our graveyard? So what do we do then? How do we get all the instants and sorceries in our graveyard able to be casted?
And then play them for free.
What allows us to play stuff out of our graveyard for free in blue? And it would be relatively easy to say, I'm just going to mill my entire library and then all of the instants and sorceries go into my graveyard because Grolnok doesn't exile them. That's 10 different extra turn spells. And then I've got cast from my graveyard extra turns, or do I just infinitely bounce like an Archaeomancer and Mnemonic Wall to take extra turns? Is that what I do? And is that any better? Any fucking better?
Well, it's way harder,
I suppose.
I guess.
I'm not playing Thassa's Oracle Grolnok, though. I'm playing fucking extra turns in Grolnok. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the way to do it.
But I don't think you could, because if you mill your whole library into your graveyard and then take infinite turns, you're going to draw a card at the first turn and die.
Fucking mill yourself. God damn it. How do we skip our draw step in
Psychic Bond? There's an enchantment for like blue 4.
Or Psychic Possession.
Yeah, that's the one where you skip your draw step, but whenever an opponent draws a card, you draw a card. So then you can take those infinite turns.
Pretty risky.
I just hope that they don't have a way of drawing a card to kill you.
They just brainstorm and you die. Brainstorm turns into lightning bolt. You can only play the brainstorm with the lightning bolts on it, though, from Ice Age.
Correct. Yeah. How the fuck do you win now?
Oh man, there's got to be something that we're drawn blank on. You know what? You.
There has to be one. There is one. There has to be.
Do you?
Without just, I play all the free rocks and then I play all the free rocks from exile with Grolnok and then make a bunch of dudes in Crater Hoof Behemoth.
I was gonna say,
you could do that too.
It would be easy enough to mill your own Crater Hoof and get all the mana with all the rocks, right? It would be easy enough to mill all of your instants and sorceries into your graveyard and then Eternal Witness from Exile, and you get back a Triumph of the Hordes and or Overwhelming Stampede and or Reigns of Power to switch creatures with all of your opponents, so you get all of theirs and you don't have any, so you don't give them any. Or you'd give them an Eternal Witness.
Oh, yeah.
So you could do it that way.
Yeah, okay.
I think that would be fine.
That'd be neat. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, once you've milled your whole library, you kind of have to. That's like the infinite zone, right?
Yeah.
You might as well Thassa's Oracle at that point.
I suppose, but I mean, you could get your Concordant Crossroads out of your Exile because it's croaked.
Yeah, baby.
And you could...
Concordant Croak Roads.
Concordant Croak Roads is the
Oh my
name
god,
of the deck.
you could put Croak in all of the cards. Oh, my brain is just... It's melting. Oh.
What about this? You could get Croak of Arms and Concordant Croak Roads, and you could...
beat wholesale ass with frogs.
And then you could get all of your fucking opponent's creatures from Reigns of Power, cast your own turn to frog from your graveyard to make them all frogs, and then when they attack, because you have a Croak of Arms, they're all 10/10s.
Ooh.
That could work, and you could cast from your graveyard your Reigns of, or your Triumph of the Horde, so they're all attacking for 10 infect with trample. Yeah, there's lots of ways.
All right.
You know what? You just really have to bend space and time a little bit when you walk into the fucking door of the recording studio in CCO Nation.
Yeah.
And you can find ways to be creative. Sure, Thassa's Oracle, Labman, Jace, Wielder of Mysteries is easy.
Yeah.
And I told Chris and the gang that made the deck, like, it's fine to include those, but we're gonna compare cEDH, Frog Tribal. We're gonna land somewhere in the middle. And I think Self-Mill and Concordant Crossroads and Coat of Arms would be a very cool way to do it.
Yes. I think that everybody, like, even if it was like, oh, it's just an infinite combo, I still think that would be like fun.
And Reigns of Power and March of the Machines, right? Because now you have artifacts.
Yeah.
And if you March of the Machines and then polymorphous jest your own March of the Machine artifacts to turn them all into frogs with a Coat of Arms, you're gonna hit for fucking mega damage. Yeah. Mega damage.
Big damage.
I think that's really cool.
I think that's cool as well. Man, Frog Tribal, we got there.
I think we did.
How did we get there with fucking Frog Tribal?
Combo Croco? Croak.
You could play Croco in this deck because he's the right colors.
Who the fuck is Croco?
Coco.
Oh, go. Oh man.
Oh man. We broke it wide open. Croak of Arms, Concordant Croak Roads, Croco.
Man, you could turn your opponent's creatures into elks, steal them with Reigns of Power,
turn them into frogs,
and then turn them into frogs. What does turn to frog do? Does that turn our own thing into a frog?
Turn to frog turns
until
target creature. It turns target creature into a 1/1 frog that is blue.
Well, if we steal an elk, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, fuck. Elk, frog, same thing.
Yeah, I suppose we're doing it the hard way too, because it's like you got a Reigns of Power to steal your opponent's creatures, or you have to somehow make your own. And green and blue have lots of token makers.
Yeah, how's green gonna make creatures?
Yeah, and then we just turn them all into frogs, right? Oh man, super cool.
We could fit like another shitty tribe in here. Like squirrels or cats or something.
Cats and squirrels are good now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think frogs is the next thing on? Because you'll know we're getting frog cards lots, right?
Well, we are actually getting frogs. Now that you mention it, it's like, oh yeah, we did get a frog here. We got a frog there. Mari Ho gave us a frog with Bushido. Got a frog here. Got a frog there.
Like maybe frogs are going to be like the Krapagawa tribe. No, they are not. Because they're going to replace snakes, and fuck that.
Well, listen, we just got a frog with Bushido and Mari Ho.
Oh my god.
Maybe that was future shadowing.
Oh my god.
Foreshadowing.
Oh my god.
Could be a thing.
But what if they replace snakes? I want snakes with red hair and 4 arms that are ninjas that live in the forest.
They're gonna be snake frogs. Is that a thing? A snake frog? Outside of like shark crab frogs from Ravnica? Is snake frog a thing in fantasy?
So. I don't think so.
Like a Naga is a snake person?
I don't think so.
A snake frog. Let us know in the comments, I guess.
If you know,
No. Do you got a card of the week?
A card of the week.
He has to actually do the mouth thing.
Yeah, and that way we can echo it with the thing, because the echo effect isn't very good.
What's the card of the week? I think it's got to be Polymorphist's Jest.
Yes.
I think it's got to be.
It definitely has to be Polymorphist's Jest. It's $2. It's got funny-looking frogs on it, and it's a good card.
Is it only from Commander... What is that?
Oh, shit.
I think that's Commander 17, that one?
Let's take a quick peek.
Take a quick peek.
Yes.
Commander 17, Magic 15, too.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Magic 2015.
And they're both the same monetary value of $1.79 that you can definitely pick up at FusionGamingOnline.com using special promo code CCO Fusion5 to save yourself 5% off.
Don't forget that you'll also need Concordant Crocos, and Croak of Arms. And maybe Croak to... No, not Door to Nothingness. Door of Croakinies? Destinies? That only triggers on cast, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, you gotta cast frogs. Then you gotta play frogs.
It's not ETB?
Uh-uh.
It's cast?
No, you gotta cast
Okay,
them.
fuck that one.
Gotta cast them.
Get that one, the croak, out of here. Yeah. Polymorphous Jess, you use CCO Fusion 5 promo code, save yourself 5% on cards that you were definitely going to buy.
Oh, absolutely. Polymorphous Jest is a good card, man. It's a
We
good
did
card.
play it 2 decks in a row.
That's right. One of them unironically, and one of them is a win condition. We've just proven that this card is amazing. Frogs on the rise, man.
Look at that fucking frog right in the art there, too, hey?
Wait, look
That
at-
one that's really close.
Well, he knows.
He
that
knows.
frog knows. You're seeing it if you're watching on YouTube. You know.
That frog reminds me of Chris Von Doom when he's giving you the eye, like, he fucking knows. He knows. He knows what he's about.
You know what I want is I want this art, like with that frog that we're looking at. Again, watch on YouTube so you can see what I'm pointing at. And I want those, like the red, angry laser eyes on that frog.
Hey,
That's what I
that
want.
sounds like it could be a YouTube thumbnail there, Joe.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, laser eyes.
Laser eyes frog.
Super fun.
Did it.
Card of the week, Polymorphist's Jest. That means that it's a polymorph making a joke. That's what it is. And it's a meme deck, but we got there.
Yeah, and we just demonstrated that it goes infinite like 17 ways.
Super fun. Do you have a final thought of the day? Do you have...
Frogs are awesome.
Frogs are awesome. The
Even though-
CCO Kickstarter is awesome.
The
We're going to
CCO
mention that
Kickstarter
again.
is great as well. Check that out. All of the links and stuff can be found in the show notes or on CommanderCookout.com.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't said that in a long time, so that's very exciting. Big thanks to the whole CCO Nation for kicking off the arc of awesomeness with us. We're going to be back with more community deck builds, more fun stories from you that you hopefully will have sent us, along with decks that either put you in a good mood, that got you through a hard time, that put a smile on somebody else's face.
Decks that made you hard.
With. Yeah.
Decks that made you hard, like fucking you got your croak off or something.
You got your croak on. Yeah,
I don't know.
we did it. In any event, get your decks in if you think that they're good for the Arc of Awesomeness. Get your stories in, and we're going to be back next week to continue the Arc of Awesomeness on the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. In our theme song!